into it. Find a comfortable seat, wiggle around. Usually on both sit bones, the same distance from the floor. So if your cushion's a little lumpy, just kind of wiggle around so it feels even at the base. And find that comfortable seat. If your lower back tends to be tight or rounded, then you'd want to have more of a cushion so your hips are higher. So you can just use it to be higher there. And that's going to be the case in all of our poses today. Three things I want you to keep in mind. One, you're always breathing. I'll guide the breathing. I'll remind you. Might be silly about it sometimes. Number two, always protect the spine and neck and brain. All right. So no matter how fancy a pose gets or how wiggly or cool or show-offy or whatever, you're always asking yourself, A, can you breathe? And B, is your spine and neck and brain safe? So already you're breathing. Find that comfortable seat. And what's not as relevant in my rules in Yin Yoga is the number three is, after considering breath and spine, is how you're connected to the ground. Use your hands or feet in different yoga poses. And here we'll mostly be sitting or a little bit on the hands and knees, and usually in some position. We'll be holding it for a while, and we'll take it from there. So again, sitting comfortably, your knees should be comfortable. If they're not, put cushions under your knee, but they should be able to rest to wherever they are. Palms face up, arms are straight. And close your eyes. Hopefully you can hear me clearly. If you can't hear me clearly, turn the volume up just a little bit, or bring the phone closer, or bring the laptop closer to wherever you are. Find that seat, arms are straight, palms are open, and eyes are closed. Atta Yoga Anushasanam. That's the first line of the Yoga Sutras. I'll say it once more. Atta Yoga Anushasanam. In this moment, the yoga begins. Without getting too philosophical, just consider with your eyes closed as you're breathing that this is the moment of new things happening. This is the moment when you can have a new way of being. This is the moment when you can let your day behind you. This is the moment that you can begin your moment of rest for the whole night. Whether you've had a glass of wine or not yet, let your body immediately relax in this time. Finding your breath through the nose, let it be warm and even. Often in yoga practices, which I'm guessing many of you have been to, there's an ujjayi breath, a warm, steamy breath. And here for yin, you don't need that. For yin, what we have is a calm, smooth, easy breath. It's not forceful, it's not hot, it's not rushed, it's calm. It's even, it's your breath. You might notice that one nostril has more flow than the other. And over the next hour, you'll probably notice, if that's the case, that it'll even out. That's true for really any physical activity as you warm up. The sinuses tend to have one dominant one than the other, switching every 90 minutes or so. So here, to override that, we find more warmth, we find the stretch and the calm to do that. Continue the breath. Place one hand on your chest and one hand on the belly. And notice right away, what moves more? Is it the chest or the belly? Let the breath be long. Lengthen the breath. Even, steady, through the nose, calm, easy, healing. Many of us notice when we sit for a while, we get fidgety. If you need to get some of those fidgets out, by all means, move around. Wiggle the shoulder, wiggle the neck, wiggle the hips, and maybe even adjust the pillow. That's okay. Calm breaths in and out. So we notice whether we're breathing more into the chest or the belly, and we're trying to even it out. So both hands move about the same. We designed this so you can actually play it again another time, slow down time. It can just be audio once you've seen it. It's an even breath. It's calm and healing. You barely even hear it. It's not steamy, it's not huffing and puffing. And you can check on this once in a while when we get to it. Hands back down, eyes closed. You can peek once in a while, of course, if you're not used to these positions, and if my words aren't enough to tell you where to be. Let's press our hands together, all 10 fingers pressing another finger, all 4 corners of your palm pressing the other hand. Immediately notice where there's tension, maybe your jaw, your shoulder, your hand. Try to release that tension, literally and deliberately. If it's in your neck or your shoulder, let it have a new way of being. And let's dedicate this time right now to your calm, to your healing, to your growth. To your calm, to your healing, and your growth. The pace of a Yin Yoga class is really quite slow, tempered, calm, and long. So just notice what comes up for you as you're sitting here having this patience for yourself. And really consider thanking yourself for making the time. We don't often make the time to care for ourselves and our own health. I'm glad you can do that today. Thank you for being here with us. Hands can come down to the sides. From here, inhale tall. If your hands help with your posture, by all means, use some of the weight on the ground. Chest is tall, belly button supports, and the bottom rib isn't poking out to make the chest impressive. Bottom rib is in, it's supported with the abdominal muscles. And with that bottom rib in, see if you can lift the chest and feel the length in your neck. Back of the neck is long. It might be the tallest that your head has been from your back in a few days. We tend to sit more rounded and forward as we type or as we text or Instagram. Inhale, find the height, find the length to the back of your neck. You might notice the difference in my height as I shift. Inhale tall. Inhale, arms up. Same breath, calm breath. And imagine that your fingernails are growing while the sit bones are pressing down. Shoulder blades draw down and the arms are strong and straight. Now, some of us can't keep our arms this close to each other, so out here is fine. Elbows should be straight, so if it means being here, that's fine. Shoulders aren't clenched up to your ears, so that's hard to breathe. See if you can deliberately release the shoulder. If you can bring your arms even closer, and if it's easy for you to be here, by all means, go there. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Notice if your spine rounded a little. Inhale, stay tall. Hips are square. Let the breath last longer than the movement. So after I've stopped, I'm still inhaling. And when I move the other way, I exhale first, continue that long exhale until after I've stopped moving. If your breath is short, if it's a little anxious, that's fine. I just ask that the movement still be contained within the length of the breath. Exhale down. Right. Inhale up again. I'm not sure if you're looking at this as a selfie or if you can tell, but this is going to be my right hand is pulling my left wrist upwards, not to the side, but straight upwards. So really feel that length. The fingernails are growing on the top and the sit bones press down. Inhale, make those ribs taller without yanking your shoulder up to your ear. So shoulders down, belly supported. Feel that length. And as you exhale next, make it even longer as the fingernails grow away. Inhale. As you exhale, more space, finding length. One more time, inhale. Exhale. There's sometimes a little temptation to twist the neck, to look up or down. No need. Inhale up, release both hands. Hands down. Inhale, hands up. Other side, again, my left hand is drawing my right wrist. If you want to just do what the mirror image is or whatever looks easier for you, that's fine. Either follow the words or the image. And if they're the same, lucky us. Inhale up. Fingernails still growing, sit bones pressed down without yanking the shoulder, and exhale 3 times. Find that length. Exhale. Inhale. And lengthen again. Both hands up. At this point, you might feel the blood is draining out of the fingers a little. That might happen. Your fingers feel a little tingling or falling asleep. You can make a fist. Exhale here, twisting. I'm placing my left hand on the right knee and the other hand by the sacrum. Nothing to force here, right? Inhale tall. Imagine the neck is floating over the spine and spine over the tailbone. Exhale, twisting here. The neck's actually doing almost nothing here. Really, the twist is in the upper chest or the upper spine. Exhale for me, right shoulder is away from you. One more breath. Inhale up again, arms up. Oftentimes in a Yin Yoga practice, we go right into one pose and hold it, but I really like a little bit, depending on how long your day's been, to move around in the shoulders, in the pelvis, and the spine. Again, inhale. Neck is right over the tailbone throughout this posture, and twist it. What we don't want to have is any pressure in the lumbar spine, that's the lower back, just above the hips. Exhale again, twisting. Now the left shoulder further away from you. The neck is easy. Really feeling the twist again in this part of your spine that holds the rib cage. Inhale, arms up again. Hands on the floor. Finding hands and knees on the ground, moving a pillow out of the way if you have one. Shoulders right above the wrist. Hands are strong. All 10 fingers participating. Inhale, tuck the toes. Chest looks forward. And the neck follows suit, but it doesn't have to be craned up to change the airway. So find that neutral place in the neck, slight tuck in the chin. Exhale. Again, breath is longer than the movement. Exhale, exhale, exhale until after you stop moving, continue the last exhale. And inhale, then begin moving the other way. Toes tuck, hips change to stay up. Exhale. Throughout this time, the breath is calm and even if we've paused between something to talk about something. Hear that breath. The breath being calm regulates the nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is calming, allows the growing in your hair, in your skin to heal, in your belly to digest the food you've eaten today. Arms are strong, crushing the mat thin, back and forth. As you inhale, tuck the toes forward. The hands are smart, the whole palm is pressing down and elbows aim back. You find what's even and easy for you. Still calm, easy breath. On the next exhale, point the toes, sit back on the heels. Child's pose for a moment. Inhale, lift the hips. Pour the pelvis forward a little deeper. Maybe the hands go further forward and melt them down. Inhale, sit up. We'll come right back into the child's pose in a moment. And I'd like you to use a pillow or two. The knees can be wider than our original child's pose. We call it a wide knee child's pose, or sometimes 9-point pose. I'll use my pillows here. Inhale. And exhale, fold forward. I can't see where you are. I can't see your position, but I'd want to make the chin to not be obstructed. You can use a bolster here, which can be the whole length of your body usually, from the front of the hips right to the manubrium, which is the top of your chest. We'll be here for a while, so really I want a comfortable position. Nothing should be hurting. Obviously there's a stretch here, and if you need more of a bolster or more of a pillow, go get it. You can go take a moment to get that pillow, the longer, bigger one, even if it's in the next room. And we'll be right here for a few minutes. Don't fall asleep. Stay with us. And just consider that as you're breathing here, your whole body is changing. There's really no way to be still. The breath is happening. That breath goes into the lungs, where it interfaces with the blood supply and goes to every organ, from your fingertips to your heart and your pelvis, to your ears and your nose and your spleen. Literally consider that you are resculpting your body molecularly with every breath. In yoga, we speak of prana, of energy that comes through the air. In science and medicine, we talk about molecules and oxygen and carbon dioxide. Either way, consider resculpting your body drop by drop. Consider what you're grateful for today. Consider that you're grateful for actually making the time for yourself. That as you build yourself up to be a stronger, healthier person, that you can be there for your priorities, for your family, for your office, for your team, for your friends. But none of that's really possible if you aren't whole by your own standards. These poses are held for a while. So again, I remind you, don't be in a place that hurts you. If the joint is unstable or just feels yuck, just find an easier place to be. Just a bigger pillow, or bring your knees closer together, that's fine. Adjusting. You can bring the knees to be closer, which might protect the hips a little more. Remember, two first rules of any practice with me is that you can breathe and that your spine and your brain are safe. Hear the breath. Slowly come on up. It might have been difficult for your knees to be there. We'll now consider a new position to be in. Elbows out of the way. This pose is actually perfect for the next piece, which is to place your pillow into the crease of your knee. So I just drop it onto the calf muscle behind me. And then I reach the two corners. You might not be able to see too well on this image. I bring the corners of the pillow right into the crook of the knee, and I sit down. Usually that feels better for most of us. If you have a little cushion, like a meditation cushion, or really any pillow, it should feel a little more insulating and safe. If that doesn't feel so safe and you have a block, you can sit on the block and just place it under your sit bones. And that should also allow you to be here for a while. So I can't see you from here, but really we're allowing a place where you can breathe calm, have that that smooth, easy breath, and where your spine is comfortable. And in this case, nothing should be unstable. Sometimes flexible yoga stretches can be, if they're held too long, they can change the tendon, right? So over time, we are reminding the body to be more adaptable, to change to what you're focusing on this year. Remember, we dedicated this class to your calm, to your growth, to your creativity. Inhale tall here. Just imagine a little wave in the spine, maybe a little folding as you exhale, arching the spine, extending the spine as you inhale. Try that a few times and keep doing it and move less each time. As you're doing it, the collarbone's floating right over the front hip bones, the ASIS bones, anterior superior iliac spine. So really imagine this collarbone is floating right above the front hip bones. The breath can be longer and the motion can be less and less. What you also notice with the cushion here and the weight, and look, it depends on each of us how much we weigh, how much we've done this. If it is too much, use a second pillow, it should be higher. Or you can use a bolster in a higher position so you can sit in a higher place, or even a second bolster. In all of these poses, there shouldn't be pain. There might be stretch, but you must really understand the difference between awareness and stretch and deep stretch and pain and destabilization of a joint. All of these in this wrist, for instance, I'm just showing you as an example, is pretty apparent, but it's really different for each person how far and how what that range is. So in this case, for your knee or your ankles, how they feel, honor yourself and listen then. Inhale here. The eyes can close. From here, we'll inhale tall. Place your hands on the floor behind you. It can be fingers facing forward or back. I'm doing back for the moment. Lifting my hips up for the moment and then tuck the tailbone under. And find that length. Hands can go further back. And for those of you who are new to this might be plenty and fine, right? If you really feel like you can do more, or if you want to go deeper, and if it's easier for you, you can tuck the tailbone more and go even deeper. I won't go so far today, but I will tell you, if you'd like, you can go onto your elbows, or you might have to reset up and place a bolster behind you and lie all the way down. Whatever position you choose here, make sure that the lower back feels safe. Lower back feels safe by tucking the tailbone under and using the abdominal wall, the abdominal muscles to draw back towards the spine. And that's how we, with those two steps, protect the lower back. Remember, if anything hurts in this class, don't do it. We're going so slowly that it shouldn't be any injury. We're retraining the relationship of your body to your body, of your brain to your body, of the tendon to the muscle, of the muscle to the tendon to the bone, of the ligament to the muscle. All these things are adjusting slowly. But if you can't breathe calmly, I can't breathe calmly, and if it feels too extreme, honor yourself, especially when it's online and there's no feedback of somebody seeing when you might be in danger. Back to the breath. From here, close your eyes. We'll be here for another minute. With every breath, you're drawing in energy that helps. With every exhale, you're letting go of stuff you don't need. Molecular waste, tension in the muscle, that taste in your mouth from an awkward or crummy interaction yesterday or the day before or recent times, or maybe long since almost forgotten. Where is that yuck in your body, and can you breathe it out? Or just chip away at parts of it so it doesn't affect you as much? Breath is calm through the nose. Neck is long. Wiggle the hips and tuck the tailbone under again. See if you can even that stretch down the thighs. If you are lying down, you might feel that stretch all the way from the front of your thighs, down the quadriceps to the knee. And then slowly wiggle out. Maybe get your elbows under you, your hands under you, coming forward. And come out again. From here, bring your feet forward in front. Legs are straight. Inhale tall. So if you find that when you're sitting up straight with just breathing, if your lower back tends to round back here already, by all means use your hands to support as an extra set of muscles to keep you tall. A few things that limit it is hamstring tightness, lower back flexibility, and just having done this enough times. To find a place where the abdomen can work, the muscles between the ribs can work, the neck muscles can hold you up, and be there. And if it's easy for you, hands can go further back and chest can reach forward. And you'll either stay in the first position or with hands like this. And if it's easy for you still to reach forward without collapsing in the lower back like this, if you can take your hands off and stay tall, then you can reach your hands forward. From here, imagine I'm holding my pelvis and pouring it towards my feet. And in your case, pouring it towards the screen. Inhale, tall chest. Hands reach far. And exhale, basically stay there. Make the thighs strong. The toes draw back like mine are. Thighs are strong. Belly is engaged and drawing in as well. So now you're folding by lifting your legs towards your face at the same time. It doesn't look so dramatic because what happens is when the legs are trying to lift both of them, the pelvis turns forward because it's pulling on the muscles on the bones of the spine and the pelvis to rotate forward. From here, if you'd like, you can use your pillows or your setup to stack your blocks up or your pillows. Or your bolster, you can put it in a tall way to rest your head on the place where you can breathe. Slight tuck in the chin. The breath is long, the breath is full. And as you exhale, it can soften. Legs are still alive, toes draw back. And just listen what comes up. As the chin tucks, some of us, I know for me, I do, I feel little stretches along the spine. So what are we doing here? We're actually lengthening every nerve that goes down the spine and into the body. Really, most of the ones that are going to the lower body. And so it feels like an ache. But because you're breathing through your nose and triggering the parasympathetic nervous system, your body might recognize that, hey, this member of the tribe needs these nerves to be long and flexible. It's not getting too old or shrinking back. It is participating. Each nerve is participating within your body. So if this class that you've chosen to come to, for which I thank you, if this class is frustrating, ask yourself why. Is it because the pace is different? Folding again. Is it because you have stuff to do or checklists on your calendar? Or things to scroll through? Allow the nerves to soften. Imagine focusing on all the dynamic differences in your breath. Notice if one part of your lung feels tight or not. Maybe just having gratitude for the fact that your lungs fixed the last time you had a cold or a sickness, that the junk was kicked out of your body by a smart, healthy system. If there's frustration, just notice why. Go back in time, down the chain of frustration to what you think had to happen to you. Inhale up here, nice and tall. Pillows out of the way. From here, we'll find a goddess pose, for lack of a better term. We'll start by being here. Inhale tall. You can place a bolster right at the base of your spine. I'll turn sideways for the moment so you can see where the bolster or the pillow will be right here. And maybe a second one if it's thin like mine. But if you have one bolster, keep it right there and you're going to lean back here. I'll come back to the original position so you can see. So once you've placed the pillow where you want it, you'll then bring your feet together, soles of your feet together. If you do have blocks, you can put them under your knees. And if you're flexible enough for the knees to drop, that's great too. So here we are, inhale. You may have to adjust a few moments to get this right to start, because you might also want to block under where your head is. And here, lean back. And so in my case, I put it it's so flat that it does go under, changes my position of my hips. But I actually want it so that my hips stay on the floor. And in my case, I've done this enough that I can lie down. But in your case, you might want your head to be supported. You might even want to roll around to get everything in the right place. So your lower back feels safe. You do feel stretch here. And in my anatomy class within yoga 20 years ago, well before I went to medical school, I could actually have the anatomy teacher showed us how with a bolster behind your back and after some relaxation, you can feel L3, lumbar 3 vertebrae through here. I'm not recommending you do it, but just an interesting point of anatomy, that the spine and the body can be so close to you. Of course, depending on where your muscles are, and if you're pregnant, definitely don't do it. Don't want you poking where you don't need to. You might also notice that over time, if your knees are relaxing more and more, you can readjust your blocks to be further away, so it can be slightly deeper, or even to a lower setting. Or even if the pillow, if the blocks aren't needed, you would use a pillow instead. Allow yourself to notice that some of the gripping in our body is in the tendon. The tendon is locked to try to keep you safe. And we're trying to find ways for that to be more playful, more elegant, more smooth, so you can have easier movements. So some of us, if you're holding deeper poses today, again, respect yourself, don't destabilize your joints, hear the breath to be calm. And for most of us, tomorrow and the next day, especially 2 days from now, you'll notice an achiness, a soreness where those muscles meet the tendon, because they're just not used to being in this new way. So I'd actually consider coming back to the glasses video here to watch this again, maybe once a week, or whenever it makes sense for you to carve the time. Hear the breath. As you exhale, you're melting. And even if you feel comfortable, do not fall asleep just yet. Your body needs you to be alert and participating. So your brain knows this isn't just letting go and giving up for the night. And not that that's bad, but in this case, I'd like you to use this opportunity to deliberately listen to different parts of your body and how it feels. We just don't tend to think about these body parts. And I don't think you need to spend that much more time on it, but to be aware which parts tend to feel more stable or unstable. Some of these are tight from an injury from years ago, a middle school fall down a hill, or a high school basketball thing, or a rugby thing, who knows? You guys are from all over the world. In a moment, we'll come up to sit. Before you do it, I'd like you to turn your belly on as if you're doing a sit-up, and then roll to one side or the other, using your elbow in your hand to come on up. Again, come onto your hands and knees here. Up cat and down cat. So again, fingers are pressing down. All four corners of your palm are in the ground. Elbows decide where they go. Tuck the toes as you inhale, chest is long. Exhale, point the toes, round the spine. Breath lasts longer than the movement. Inhale, begin the motion. Exhale, begin the motion. Keep exhaling until after you stop moving. Listen for the difference between strength and stress. Distribute the strength across your body. Wherever possible, ask your whole body to work. We don't tend to. We tend to sit in the same chair and desk or the same couch. Now, more and more, our hands are doing the same things every day, scrolling a certain way or typing a certain way. Remind yourself that you have options to participate, whether you're 20, 36, 67, or older, or younger. Allow yourself to play from where you are. Let's bring the pillow to your side, maybe around the height of it's between the ribs, between the knee and your arm. You'll place one pillow over the side here. And here we'll lie flat, and we'll bring one leg forward. So here we are. Bring one hand, the far hand from the pillow, under your chin, and bring the knee forward. Whether you have a bolster, or a pillow, or just the ground, we're adjusting here. So the long leg behind you is long. The hips try to be flat to the floor, but they won't reach, right? The hip that's on the same side as the pillow is elevated. And you can rest your forehead under your hands under your forehead. And your nose is comfortably breathing. I'll be a little louder here in case you can't hear me. So the knee goes basically 90 degrees straight from the pelvis out to the side. And the ankle is not close. It's also making a 90-degree knee and a 90-degree in the ankle. I'm not sure if you can see my foot, but that's fine if you can't. And again, use the pillows. Use your tools around you to be comfortable, but still let that be a little opening in the hip. Breathing deliberately, breathing long, listening for where there's tension and softening. I just noticed some in my shoulders and turned it off. Ask those muscles to stop gripping. I have a say, even when there's lots of tension, to deliberately calm those muscles down. Yin can be a very powerful practice. It's so simple. We're not doing that many poses. But what we are doing is finding a way to breathe long and calm and manipulating different things that attach to the spine. The parasympathetic nervous system engaging, compelling longer attention span, reducing the amount of activity in the amygdala, reducing the amount of fear in our day-to-day moments, allowing for a little more resilience when we tend to react. From here, inhale up, belly button draws in, chest comes up, and slowly find yourself out of that position. You can go right to the other side and do the same thing, or you can do up cat and down cat. You feel a little stiff from the day. If you've been sitting a lot during today, you might want to do one vinyasa, to down dog, to plank. And then come back down on this side. The hand away from this pillow on this side. Ready to protect to serve your face. And now this knee comes up on the bolster or the pillow or the block. Hip is aiming straight away from knees aiming straight away from the hip. The lower leg is parallel to my long leg, and the ankles slightly flexed. And wherever I am, I'm then trying to have my shoulders be even toward the floor. My face is aiming straight down. My forehead rests on the hands. And as I'm breathing, the hips try to become parallel also. The raised hip that's near the pillow is trying to come down and down and down. These adjustments as you're breathing, they're not drastic. They might just be a millimeter or even a part of a millimeter, or even just your imagination of what can go. There's no need to impress me. I can't actually even see you. Honor yourself. Again, being grateful. I'm grateful that you came to this session. Be grateful to yourself that you gave yourself the time to be here. And if you realize there's something else that's better for this part of your mind, maybe next week or tomorrow, there's time for that instead. But I do appreciate your attention for being here and listening and trying this all out. There are all kinds of traditions, ancient and new. We talk about longevity, about health. It becomes more and more important to understand how your body moves, how you sweat, how do you become stronger in a way that supports yourself and your tribe? How do you protect your sleep and your rest? What's the nourishment that comes in you, whether it's through the air or liquid or food? But even beyond that, to sound, what do you hear? Are you hearing inputs or people that are poisonous to you or healthy for you? Are the things that touch your skin, are they clean or are they dirty? How do we refine ways to trust ourselves? Continue this breath. Doing a great job, guys. Find that length. Breathing nicely. Get hands come to the side near the shoulder. Wiggle that leg off the pillow. Toes tuck under. And again, find a brief child's pose. A cat here. Tuck the toes under. And down. Place your left hand right under the chin, between the chin and the top of your chest, under you, and the other hand on the sacrum. Again, the left and right might not match up depending on your screen. Hand is strong, and as you exhale, twisting, bringing the top shoulder right above the body. Staying here. Exhale, twist further. So your hand is on the sacrum here because your hand is smart for position. So I'd really like you, as you're twisting the shoulder, not to wiggle the hips left or right. I'd like the sacrum to be flat and parallel to the floor as you're twisting here. If you feel pretty good about that, then you can open this up this way also. We're twisting the upper back more than the lower back. Coming back down, other side. Now the other hand, basically between the chin and the top of your chest. And I place my left hand on the sacrum. Inhale. Again, 3 or 4 breaths here. Breaths are long. Hand is strong. Wrist should not be hurting here. If it is, consider what might be tight and find an easier place to be. The spine is fascinating. The parts of the bones are really meant to twist where they're meant to twist and to be weight-bearing where they're meant to be weight-bearing. So you'll notice in every picture or every skeleton, if you've ever seen one, the lower spine, the lumbar spine, is much bigger and thicker and chunkier than the cervical spine. The lumbar spine is for the lower back. Have a seat for a moment. The lumbar spine is in the lower back, and the cervical spine is what supports your neck. So it goes from wider pieces to narrower pieces. And so you'll see the twist is much more able in the thoracic spine where the ribs are held than it is in the lower back. So the next thing we'll do here is to set up for a twist that's reclined. So here, bring your legs forward to the front of the mat. And I'm going to keep a pillow on my right side. And hopefully the instructions make sense from there. From here, feet flat, lying down. This might be hard to see, but I'm going to lift my hips and bring them about 2 or 3 inches left of center, away from this pillow that I'll be using soon. On the pillow side, my right side, legs gets long. And I'm going to now place this knee on the pillow, across my body. And the reason I move my hips that way is so that now you might be able to see basically a straight line from my tailbone right to my spine, even though it's twisted. From here, I want you to stack the pillows high enough that your knee is resting comfortably. Really resting and the weight is there. And then from here, the hands go together away. I know my hands are off camera, but that's fine. And from here, the top hand now is going to peel away with the chest as you exhale. Inhale tall. Exhale, peel away. Inhale tall. Peel away. So if your arm doesn't lie down here, that's okay. You can keep your hand on your shoulder and just let it try to fall. All the while, the knee is still, the bent knee is still on the pillow, and the lower back is safe. So we've made the shape here. So it's a long spine, that the hips are square. The lower back isn't really twisting too much. And if it is, back off and find an easier place to be. And then the upper back is twisting. The chin doesn't have to look away from the pillow. The chin's actually just resting. Eyes can close or eyes can stay open. And just listen what gives. As you breathe, inhale tall, you might slightly untwist just because things get fuller in the lung. And as you exhale, there's more space and ease. And then consider if some of that looseness that shows up is because there was a clenching, as if your body was trying to keep you safe from some part of life. Inhale, look up. Hands go back together, past the pillow, and roll back onto your back. Let's remember the hips went off center. Let's go back to center with the hips, and then the hips lift up again and go about 3 inches, in my case, right of center. And now I've got my other pillow here, or the same pillow, next to my hips here, or a little bit higher. Left leg straight, left arm out. And now my right knee crosses over. And again, there should be a similar line, tailbone to neck. Hands together, knee resting. Remember, the most important part of this is the lower back and the spine are safe and that you can breathe. So this pillow should be someplace where your knee is resting and gravity is pulling it down. And now the hand can pull away. Each breath, I give you a little more ability to roll away. And you'll see the twisting is mostly in this part of the spine that holds the ribs. My neck is comfortable, arms away. Oh, one thing that tends to happen that I see, and I can't see it in you, of course, is people tend to kind of dodge this muscle in the pec, in the chest or shoulder area, just to touch the floor. I don't want that so much as I want you actually to use these muscles. This arm should be straight away from the shoulder. And if it's too painful or too much, just put your hand on the shoulder here. And as you exhale, the muscles might soften. You might even notice over time that even I am softening with each breath as I exhale. Lower back feels fine. If the lower back doesn't feel fine, untwist a little, engage the belly, and then exhale, feeling the twist along the ribs. Staying awake. Come back this way. Hands together. Knee comes up. And again, you'll notice you're kind of off center when you roll back off because I move my hips to the side a little bit. We'll go back to the center. Use your arms to get yourself up from either side and find yourself seated again. Sitting tall. And again, use your bolster if you like, bolster pillow to sit underneath. This is just needed if it helps your lower back, be tall. And if your knees are popping up a little bit, use those prompts. No shame. Just enjoy the tools around you. Because what matters most is that you can breathe and that your spine feels safe. Arms long, palms face up. Imagine again, your neck is floating right over the spine, spine over the sacrum. You're using the muscles in the belly, in the abdomen, to hold you up in the front of your neck, the back of your neck, evenly. And sometimes it'll be annoying or sore or fidgety just to be here. Get those fidgets out of your way. Close the eyes. And I'd like you to consider one sound. The sound of the word calm or the word om, or really any short sound that comes to mind. One syllable. Hear that sound just behind your face in your brain, silently. The word calm or the word om, long, easy. The breath continues. Hear the sound. If your mind wanders and goes to a checklist or a squirrel or a TV show or a grocery list, as soon as you realize you've wandered, just come back to the same sound, calm or om. Your body gives you credit just for trying, even if it wandered, even if the mind wandered. Staying alert. Inhale tall. Hands grip strongly together, quite fiercely. All 10 fingers participating. Press the hands together using the muscles of your forearm and the upper arm. Press so strong that your chest changes shape a little, and your spine too. Now release the hands. And as the hands separate, consider that there's heat between them. As the hands go further apart, listen for the heat, the energy, maybe a magnetic sensation. And just consider, just as you might put your hand on a child's wound to offer healing or care, do the same for yourself. Bring the palms of over your eyes. Keep your height. And open your eyes into the blackness of your palms and feel the energy coming in from your palm into your face. Imagine yourself considering calm and growth and creativity across your day, across your night. Eyes closed, hands go over the scalp. All 10 fingers on the back of your neck, from the skull down to the shoulder. All 10 fingers listening as they massage in or walk in, listening for symmetry, for tension, for ease. Hands stacked over your throat, right and left. Allow your voice to have clarity. Let your understanding of the world come out over the top of your chest. Allow your immune system to support you over the middle. Listen for courage as you take a stand in your life for what's important to you and your community. Over the solar plexus, consider the energy that comes from around you, knowing that 100% is possible today. Over the belly, consider your nourishment, all that comes in as air, as liquid, as food, as sound. Fingers pressed down to the pubic bone at the top of the bone, grounding yourself into the earth. Thumbs pressed down to the top of the hip crease at the thigh. Allow the barriers around you to fall away. Down your thighs, circles around the knees. Legs come forward a little bit. Allow your thumb to press in every few inches into the calf muscle. Gripping the ankle strong. And find Shavasana. Legs straighten. Lying down. Shoulder blades can walk down about a ½ inch. The glutes, the muscles around your butt, can also soften. If you'd like a pillow under your knee or both, go ahead. And then let the muscles fall. Let the muscles melt. Let the tendons, the muscles, the joints consider new ways of being as you try new sport, new activity, a new way of presenting yourself, just subtly. What can change? Allowing everything to change, molecule by molecule, muscle by muscle, breath by breath. Stay here for a moment while I sit up. Stay lying down, eyes closed. Stay completely awake. Siya baku kanyang kwen hos. 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 Siya hamba siya hamba. Hamba siya hamba fukanyang kwenko. Siya hamba. Hamba siya hamba. Hamba siya hamba fukanyang kwenko. Thank you for sharing your time. I'm grateful that you've dedicated this time to your own health with our community at Gloss. Thank you so much. Have a great night or a great day. Honor your words with action. Respect your own self, your own space. Protect your sleep. Move and use your body. Thank you for playing yoga. Have a good day.